Elijah Muhammad, and in the name of that man's greatest student, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet you, my beloved family, in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum, sir.
How's the family?
Fine, sir.
Praise be to Allah. I am doing fine as well, striving hard to make my word bond. I want to make sure we get a couple of things out of the way here first. If you weren't aware of the loss of our dear sister, Sister Constance Muhammad, the older sister Constance, we had two Constances in Waycross. And so our sister made her transition, I believe it was Thursday.
Yes, sir.
And I was called yesterday by her nephew, Will, and he asked me to perform the eulogy, which will be on Saturday the 23rd. And we'll be in Jacksonville. And we have not, in fact, when he called me, he let me know that they had an idea of where it was going to be held, but they did not have it locked down at the moment, and that he would update me as soon as possible. Also, Brother Clayton sent me a message letting me know that when they were trying to get the service together, visited the funeral director, and that funeral director informed them that he just got a call that Brother Jesse had made his transition. And so we have no updates on that information yet. Brother Clay said that he and Brother Will were going to make their way out to Brother Jesse's house to talk with Sister Joanne. And, you know, as I listen and we get this information, I'm thinking about if everyone who had come through here was active and pushing the program, we'd be so close to my status, yes, that I know we would be on that list of cities that Minister Sharif is now focusing his attention on. The reality, family, is that there are, in the southern region, there are 8 cities that are so close. They just need a little help to push them over. And Minister Sharif has declared that he's going to push them cities over between now and the end of 2018. So I said to myself, well, we probably can't claim being in that group right now. But what we can do is prepare to be in the group in 2019.
Yes, sir.
That's what we can do.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, when you stop and think about life and what we do, we have this one run at it. And the question is, what kind of life do you want to have in this time that you've been given? Do you want to say that you are a person who spent their entire time working and paying bills? Working and paying bills. See? That's not living. That's not thriving. That's what we call existing.
Yes.
That's right. You are existing. See? And so since you are only existing, then people who are living find a way to use you in the calculation of continuing their living. See? We just exist to feed life to somebody who's determined that they will not exist, they will live. Yes, sir. Now, when we select or submit to a religious order, a belief system, see, we want to describe it like that because we know here in America, many of us are not mature enough to understand that you have selected a belief system. You believe this is the way, this is the only way, my way or the highway. Everybody who in my church, who in my faith, we go into heaven. The rest of y'all is hellbound. See, that is called spiritual immaturity. You're a child, a spiritual child. You have not grown. You have not partaken of your belief system to the point that it grows you. That you don't have to say, well, mine must be the one, so I'm going to be in it because mine is the one. No, that doesn't make sense. Makes no sense at all. You have to understand that you have select work. See, we are halfway, not even halfway, engaging in our belief system. We may be in and a part of it for a different reason. See, during the 90s, we saw an explosion that I think was directly related to the charismatic energy and spirit of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. See, but when that charismatic spirit draws you, the next step is for you to invest in the mission.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What do we mean invest? Empty your bank account and hand it to Farrakhan? No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that your energy, your life force,
yes, sir,
you engaged in the activity of the nation with that.
yes, sir,
and it begins to open you up and raise you to new levels.
right.
But when you are attracted by that, see, the minister's voice and spirit and teaching is enough to draw you.
Right.
Right. But it's not enough to hold you. See, when you don't listen to what he says and engage in the instruction and guidance that he's giving, then his voice alone will not give you the strength to endure working with dead Negroes. He won't give you that kind of juice. Just come in, sit down, and listen and go on back to business as usual. No, you have to listen to what the minister is saying and then adhere to his instruction and guidance.
Yes, sir.
That's where the growth comes from. As you grow, your ability to take plenty off of the dead Negro group that you just left, see, following and practicing in the way that we're being guided gives you the strength and ability to endure that. Right. And we all know that in our dead state, we will try every fiber of the being of that person trying to lead us. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
That's right. That's right. So now we have to deal with laying to rest a couple of folks who have been with us. And as we see this, it makes me say to myself, man, I want to make sure I'm maxing on my life.
Yes, sir.
I'm maxing.
Yes.
See? Not that I'm shamming, I'm chilling, I'm hiding. Not spending my time pursuing material gains. There has to be more than that.
Yes, sir.
So as we wrap up Ramadan 2018,
Yes, sir.
that experience alone, regardless of how successful you were, whether you failed atrociously, the question is, did you get in the fight?
Right.
It's a fight, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a fight.
Yes, it is.
It's a fight to say, okay, look, what part are we reading today? And to stay with that, because this is not a world that stops and breaks down for Ramadan.
Yes, sir.
It's not the kind of world. They keep going. So you don't get to break away from your usual routine. You actually adding something to it.
Yes, sir.
Another level of difficulty. See? And right in the middle of heat.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know, I'm looking down the road and saying to myself, as we continue to cycle the Gregorian calendar with the lunar calendar, we keep easing up a little earlier and a little earlier. We've come through the hot pot, and now we head into the winter. where the sun comes down a little earlier.
Yes, sir.
You know, because a couple, 2-3 years ago, Ramadan was back in July. Right. Sundown about 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And that's a hard trial, right?
Yes, sir.
But that's the trial. That's what makes believers. When we face that, when we wrestle with that. See? Oh man, I failed. I didn't do this with Ramadan. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Okay, did you engage? Okay, stop right there. Stop. Come on. As long as you did that, we all right.
Yes, sir.
We all right. Now, every year I ask myself, did I do better this time than I did last year?
Right.
Did I? Now, I think I lost more pounds this Ramadan than ever. Right? So it's just, I guess, I don't know if it was the heat this time or what, but something different happened. Now, so the other big thing that's happening today, they call it Father's Day.
Yes, sir.
Father's Day. A father. What is that? When you talk about the concept of fathering, what does that mean? Now, you know, when you go look up something, whether it's a dictionary or Google or what have you, you look it up, start giving yourself an idea what we're talking about. So I grabbed a quick definition. I decided I wouldn't look up father. I looked up fathering, the verb, because, you know, the noun is good enough, but now it's talking about activity. We need to get engaged here. One who prepares,
What,
treats with protective care, usually associated with a father. Treat with protective care. Now, when you think of that word father, you think of a scripture that we've often heard the minister use when he says, you are of your father, the devil. You are of your father, the devil. A father, somebody fathering something. So what is being fathered will be determined by who the father is. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
So when you're going to talk about fathering, then you have to get, what is the process? What are the steps? What goals are we looking at? If somebody is fathering, what activity would they be engaged in?
Good question.
What would you see them doing? So the one little definition that I read, treat with protective care. So you are a protector and a provider, right?
Yes, sir.
So you got to provide something. You provide sustenance. As Allah fathered the universe into existence, one of his characteristics, al-Rab, one who nourishes something unto perfection. What does that mean? He gives it what it needs to reach its eventual stage of perfection.
Yes, sir.
So he is providing something. And then creating an environment that protects the objective that he sent his creation on. So something has to protect what's being fathered along the way. And then you have to provide the sustenance needed to reach the ultimate goal. So when the Honorable Louis Farrakhan teaches from that scripture, you are of your father, the devil. What does he say next? He says the lust of your fathers you will do. Well, why will you do the lust of your fathers? It's a natural thing because you've been fathered into this mindset. He took you through a process. He gave you some words, some ideas, some concepts, some activities that will allow you to grab hold of what he is about.
Yes, sir.
See? The concept of the word mentor, from what I understand, comes from a story, an ancient story about a man who was going on a journey. He had a son who couldn't go with him. He knew he was going to be gone for a significant amount of time. So he said to the man, I see the kind of man you are. And I think the man that you are, I would like for my son to be that way as well. So what I want to do is I want to turn him over to you while I'm gone so you can raise him to be exactly like you. And from what I'm told, that man's name was Mentor. So mentoring, fathering, what we are doing is we are passing on a concept, an idea, a reality in a way that causes the one who is being fathered to grow up into it.
Yes, sir.
So when you hear the minister say, you are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. They are so bought in by training and conditioning, they are so bought into the concept that it is a natural reaction for them to carry out the lust of their father.
Yes, sir.
Now the question that we must raise is, what about these good Negroes in America? Who's been doing the fathering? See? And we can take it even deeper and ask ourselves on the inside of the nation. When we see the behavior, the activity of believers, who's doing the fathering? See? When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left here, he said he sat Minister Farrakhan in the seat as the father over the house. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. That's what he said.
So he sat him in the seat as the father over the house. That means he has some fathering to do.
Yes, sir.
Now the question is, those of us who are being fathered, are we engaging in the activity, the mindset, the concept, the thoughts that he's laying out to us so that we will be fathered into his mindset and spirit? See, we have groups of folks who've already said. I saw this a long time ago. This was a group called Secretariats, and they said, first they said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad left no one in charge. I said, well, that's false. Then they raised the question and said, well, yeah, go where he said go and stay away from where he said stay from, but where is he taking you? Oh, wait a minute, time out now.
Yes.
Time out. If the man told us to go where he says go and stay away from where he says stay away from, I think the man already knew where he was going to go.
Yes, sir.
Where he was going to take us.
That's right.
Else he wouldn't have said, follow him. He said he will get you across the river on his shoulders, and he already read the character of the man, because he said when he gets you there, he will not say, look at what I have done. He will say, look at what Allah has done.
Yes, sir.
So now what's the problem here? Apparently there was some fathering going on that was disconnected from and outside of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was doing. How did he know? He knew because he fathered Farrakhan. Right. He said to Minister Rahman, I cracked Farrakhan. Yes. I cracked Farrakhan. What did that mean? He's going on a scientific level, just like you crack an atom, you release the energy and explosion inside that atom.
Yes, sir.
So to say he cracked Farrakhan is to say that what Farrakhan was meant to be, I cracked that open. And now he can do as just like an atom does. Once it is cracked and the energy of it explodes, it causes a chain reaction in the rest of the atoms around it. Yes, sir. This is why you see when that explosion occurs, you see,
Yes.
right? And it goes as far out until it loses its energy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then it stops. And everything in that circle is burned and scorched. Isn't that right?
That's right.
It's a horrible thing. But to say you cracked Farrakhan, see, that means that those of us, when we come near Farrakhan, then you should see the same kind of reaction.
Yes, sir.
See? But see, following Farrakhan is not a cakewalk.
No, sir.
See, the reward is tremendous, but it's not a cakewalk.
Yes, sir.
See, it is not for the faint of heart. So when we start to follow the minister, the first thing we run into is challenges. We all know, we've heard 100,000 stories. Somebody come to the meeting, get motivated, and decide they're going to stand up, they're going to accept the truth, they're going to join, and then they run home and tell everybody. And what happens then? What? I thought you were smarter than that. I thought you knew more than that. How in the world can you turn your back on your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? And they get you like that. They run you away from it. I had a childhood friend tell me, man, I heard you teach, and it just stirred and motivated me. I went and bought me a Quran. And I started trying to teach my sons, and my family found out, and Lord have mercy, they jumped on me with both feet. I said, well, what happened after that? He said, man, I got tired of fighting. I just gave up. See? Well, if you heard me and that stirred and motivated you, then why didn't you come to me? See? This is where it came from. It came out of the nation. Right. I'm not something that just came into existence out of nothing. I came into a process. And after bumping and stumbling a while, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's teaching was beginning to guide me to a certain place. Right. Just like it will do for anybody who comes in here and takes the teaching seriously.
Yes, sir.
But so he didn't come along. He gave up. And you can hear that story over and over and over again. That's your first challenge when you accept the teachings. People around you. Trust me, I understand and I know I grew up in church around a whole bunch of Christians. Yes, sir. And to step away from that, man, you talk about being ostracized, looked at funny, ignored, ill spoken of. Yes, sir. Now let that Farrakhan turn you away from your faith. Yes, sir. See? But when you speak like that, it's just because whatever faith you're in, you're not practicing it. Right. See? If you think I've made a mistake and you want me to come back, then the best thing for you to do is to show me reason to come back.
Right.
And you attacking me. Yes, sir. You maligning my leader is not a way to get me back. No, sir. See? I know you're not studying. You're not smart enough to do that part. Right. You messed up. And it's clear and evident. You know, ask yourself the question, wait a minute, well, why did he do that? Why did he go down to the meeting in the first place? What happened? None of those questions were asked. Nothing but condemnation. See? Somebody walks away from the nation, I'd jump on them with 2 feet. You got to go reconnect. Yes, sir. Find out what went on, what happened. Right. See? There's no compulsion in religion, is that right? That's right. And so we don't sit here and grab somebody by the collar, drag them to the nation, and then keep your foot on them so they don't leave. Right. That's not religion. No, sir. We can't live like that. So when you talk about fathering, when you talk about sitting under the feet of a good father in the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, there are challenges along the way. If you can make it past that first challenge, now you got another challenge. Looking at yourself. The process of introspection. Yes, sir. See? Coming to the meetings every week. Grabbing your material. Refusing to stop fighting for time for your new nation. This is a world that keeps us busy in a whirlwind. Yes, sir. You chasing money to pay bills. Right. You chasing money to make life better for yourself. Yes, in a situation where they must have somebody to keep their feet on. Right. Constantly trying to find more money. Dealing with the psychological warfare that says, hey, don't you want this? Look at it. Look at it. Don't you want this? Show you television shows and movies. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. You sitting on your sofa with your TV that's about on the blink. looking at lifestyles of the rich and famous, and you just picture, ooh, man, if I could live like that.
Yes, sir.
Now that becomes your ultimate goal. And your development and spirituality is out the door. So when we talk about fathering, we talk about following a process that a good father has laid down for us. Treat with protective care, usually associated with a father. How does Farrakhan treat us with protective care?
Come on with it.
See? You got to think about that.
Yes, sir.
I remember years ago, a sister was attacked and assaulted in California. The question was, how was she dressed? See, the instructions had already gone out to say, stop that with those designer jeans and all that stuff. Don't put that stuff on.
Right.
But see, you know, sometimes we have an attitude, our little Negro jump up. And I don't know who Farrakhan think he is. He don't buy my clothes.
Right.
No, he doesn't buy your clothes. You buy your clothes. But this is God's servant. This is a man of great wisdom. So why don't you take heed?
Right.
See? Take heed. Take the guidance. Allow yourself to be fathered into another stage of existence.
Yes, sir. Right.
That's what we need to do. So when the guidance comes, the challenge to push, you still got to live in this old world, but we're building a new reality.
Yes, sir. Right. That's right.
See? And we can't build that new reality if our minds are not filled up with the reality.
Yes, sir.
How do you get that? Well, you get it by studying self-improvement, the basis for community development. You get it by studying Message to the Black Man. Our Savior has arrived. Fall of America. How to eat to live.
Yes, sir.
And that's one of the biggest ones, brothers and sisters. Do you understand some of our people are dropping like flies?
Yes.
Because they don't eat to live. They live so they can eat.
Right.
See, the scientists of today can take sawdust and spray something on it and it'll smell like a Salisbury steak. They can add some chemicals to the sawdust and you can put it in your mouth and you swear you're eating steak. For those of you who like that stuff. See, that's the scientists of the day. Why would he do something like that?
Good question.
He would only do something like that because he's unnatural, not only to this planet, but to the entire universe.
Come on. Yeah, that's right.
See? So he's attacking that which has no value to him.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is why he does the things that he does.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
See? I grew up drinking ginger ale. I was almost a full-grown teenager before somebody told me there's something called ginger root. What? I got chemicals that make it taste like ginger. Ginger ale. And so you drinking that. And what you should do is go get the root itself.
Right.
And make you something out of that.
Right.
But there are all these chemicals. He's a master scientist. He is a God, a lesser God, but he's a God.
Yes, sir.
See? And so we have to be smart and allow ourselves to be fathered by reading and following the guidance of how to eat to live.
Yes, sir.
You say, oh man, will that make me look better? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That make me feel better? Yeah. Yeah, it sure does. It make me live longer? Yeah.
Yes.
It sure does. But it does something else. Everything is about vibrations.
Come on.
Stuff that appears to be standing still is vibrating.
That's right.
See? And so you are vibrating. You are electrical energy. So when you ingest something that cuts off the electricity, now death sets in.
Yes, sir. Wow.
See? And even if you live, your ability to be what you're supposed to be, your ability to think, act, live, walk, talk, and breathe like your original self is cut else.
Well, that's right. Good teaching.
This is what we're talking about. Praise be to Allah. You have to be smart, family.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Know that when God sends a man into the earth to do something for you, he's doing something on this basic level, but there's another level that you don't see or understand yet.
Come on now.
And you only gonna get it when you take the first steps.
That's right.
See?
That's right.
When they ask the messenger about English lesson C2, don't worry about that C1 first.
Come on now.
Then you can C2. See, there's an order and a process, but our slave masters' children have made us into a people who despise order.
Yes, sir. That's
We
right.
just want to do whatever the heck we feel like doing, whenever we want to do it. We crazy. We have been fathered into something that is not good for us. How do we know? Well, just look on Facebook. Just look on Facebook. How many times do you see posts complaining about what they doing to us? They don't teach us about our history. They don't do this and they don't do that. Oh my God. As they say on Facebook, OMG.
Yes.
Man, aren't you tired of whining? They don't teach us our history. Well, shut up and start a school. Just shut up. Quit posting. Get up and start a school.
That's right.
That's what we do. That's how the gods do it.
Right.
But they want to make sure that you don't. Absolutely do not get a hint of your original self.
Yes, sir.
And don't make no more of you either. Black man, don't put your seed in another black woman. Here, take this white chick. Take this white chick. Put your seed in there. Weaker and weaker. Make you some coffee one morning and put nothing in it and taste it. And then put some cream in it. It tastes pretty good. But the difference between that pure black coffee and that other cup, there's a difference. Did you know that there are nutritional values in the coffee bean? Did you also know in order to get the maximum nutritional benefit from the coffee bean, you should just drink it black? Yeah. See? Now, but if somebody's fathering you into something other than yourself, and they're messing with our taste buds, there's so many situations like that we'll say, oh, I don't like that. I've had grown people tell me, oh, I don't like vegetables.
Wow.
When they make that statement, you know what? Yeah, slowly, peace and blessing.
Right.
Now you get going, man. Just get going.
Yes,
You know why? Because the work, the beginning stages of that work, oh my God, it's so heavy. Thank you, brother. It's so heavy to begin that conversation. I've had people say to me, they see what I'm buying at the grocery store and they look at that, the cashier, are you vegetarian? Yes, ma'am. So she bring up a few more. Are your children vegetarian? Yes, they are. How did you do that? Oh, man. See, we don't understand cause and effect. We have been fathered into something that throws cause and effect out the window.
Yes, sir.
How does this happen? How does this work? See, when you begin to investigate, when you begin to deal with critical thinking, the Honorable Odis Muhammad taught us, go to the root of a thing, right?
Yes, sir.
See? So when you start dealing with your diet, you have to go to the root. Well, what made me prefer this anyway? You know what makes you prefer this? It's whatever it is your mother was eating when you was in her womb.
Okay.
That's all. That's all. My mother must have eaten a lot of cake now. So among my siblings, if y'all ever hang out with us, you might hear them not refer to me as Odis. They might use a name that they gave me a long time ago, and I'm still trying to grow out of it. They call me Cake Man, because my mother was an excellent baker of cake. And I know for sure because I sampled every one of them. Repeatedly. To make sure. So let's get back to the subject here. But fatherhood, the fathering, the process. Now, in order for us, I want to walk through some conversation the Honorable Odis Muhammad was giving us about these people who were fathered and now run the show.
Yes, sir.
So you have to get the right perspective on things. So this is out of Our Savior Has Arrived.
Yes, sir.
See, and we have to make sure that we keep those books on our shelves, because the minute you read through all of them and you think, okay, I got that. But if you practice what you read, you grow. And when you turn around and read, you have a new set of eyes. You got a new mindset.
Yes, sir.
And there are things that you can extract from these books that you never were capable of extracting before.
That's right.
Right.
See, this country has been for a long time on a serious program of dumbing down.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Dumb down, dumb down. How do you know that? Well, hey, look who's in office. This is a clear demonstration of America's dumbing down process.
Yes, sir.
See, this is a person. We talking about Donald J. Trump. He's a person of low character. Low character. He lies with no problem.
No problem.
Liar, just lie, and feels no obligation
No.
to address that.
No, sir.
3,000 and something lies. That's what it counted. It's over 3,000 now. Times when he has lied or intentionally made a misleading statement. See, I saw a clip the other day. He was getting off of an airplane or something, and they were talking about the whole immigration bill, and he was saying, well, it's the Democrats' law that's causing the separation from the parents and the children. So there was a reporter that said, no, that's not true. It's not the Democrats' law, it's yours. And he continued to talk, and the man said, you're lying. Why do you lie? He turned to the reporter and said, quiet, and kept talking.
Wow.
He knows he's lying. It's not that, well, I'm just out of my mind, I don't know what I'm saying. No. This is what he constantly does.
Yes.
Right.
It's a process called gaslighting. You just say something. And you keep saying and keep saying and keep saying it. And people saying, you're crazy, that's not true. And you keep going. And after a while, people get tired of saying you're crazy and that's not true. And a few ignorant people start buying into it. The next thing you know,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's a reality.
Come on.
See?
It's the nature.
And so, the Honorable Odis Muhammad talked about them being fathered by one of our black scientists,
Yes, sir.
Yaqub.
Yes, sir.
Listen, if you who disbelieve in the truth would only consider the time in which we now live, you would bear witness that that is the very truth from your God that I am teaching. Just when should we expect truth to be triumphant? The answer is after the removal of falsehood.
Come on.
That's a very heavy paragraph right there.
Yes, sir.
After the removal of falsehood, and what you immediately say